Welcome everyone to another Partner CPRM video tutorial. Today we're going to walk through editing your network survey and getting ready to launch it and send it to your partners. So first things first though, we need to open it up. So you'll always want to look for the capture tab here and click to open here our library of networks. I have two here, and we're going to go ahead and pick my example survey today to work with. When you first open up your network survey, you will see the overview page, and we're going to click questions over here on the right side of the screen, which will open up our questions in this survey. So this is where the bulk of the editing will occur to get this ready. And I'm just going to kind of cover this from top to bottom, but you can cover it and work on it in whatever order you prefer. So at the very top though, on the left side, we have a print option view. So this is helpful if you plan to print out your survey and share it as a paper copy and then enter in responses yourself. And it's also just nice for proofreading and sharing to get edits and feedback from people. You can also use this button here, the reorder questions button, to reorder blocks and pages as well as individual questions just by clicking and dragging those. So that's two options right off the bat you can use to get your survey ready. At the very top of the actual survey itself, though, the first section is our verification and consent section. So this is especially helpful if you're doing research or any formal evaluation work. The verification section here essentially will confirm that the person has received the correct link, because we're doing relationship mapping here, and so knowing who it is that is filling out the survey here is very important to know which node we should correspond it with. So this section will populate their name, and you want to confirm that your organization or initiative or department is the correct one. And so definitely make sure you go in here and just edit this phrase so that it matches what you are mapping. If you're mapping individuals, for example, it might be your name. Just is your name listed above? This again just helps ensure that the right person's taking the survey. We also recommend leaving this if you are using this for organizational, network mapping. It's always helpful to remind people that they're answering not on behalf of themselves, but on behalf of the organization or department. So we just want to make sure that they're speaking, sort of thinking for the whole group and not just for themselves. And then we also do have a consent section, letting people know there are no known risks, but making sure that they consent to the use of the platform, the use of their data. And we also do recommend leaving this. If you want, it is possible to hide the verification section, but you'll notice we do require that the consent section is left in. You do have the ability also, though, to do some editing and customization there as well in the consent section, just to make it your own. Below the verification and consent section, though, we have the instructions and overview. So by default, you'll just have some basic instructions we provide, but you can edit that as you please to give people as much info as you need. But in general, we recommend keeping that as short as possible. If that gets longer, it can actually start to hurt your response rates. So the one thing we do recommend adding is a note or two on how this survey and how this data will benefit them as well as the community, because letting people know that, for example, they're going to get a dashboard or a profile of results, that alone can help incentivize engagement. And then below that, we'll actually see that the blocks and questions that we've added based on whatever question groups or questions we chose back when we first set up this new survey. So you're still able to do a lot of the same edits though here in terms of of customizing the names of blocks and pages, questions, editing and changing questions, as well as using the logic features. So the logic, again, allows you to use any attributes to hide or display various questions or entire blocks or pages as well, for specific respondents. So essentially, it's just letting you ask the right people the right question. It definitely helps lower the length of your, reduce the length of your survey overall. At the very bottom now here of the survey, as you can see, also I should note that you can also add additional questions from your question bank. You can also add headers, text blocks, and additional pages. You're not just beholden to what you chose originally. You can always add more to your survey as you get ready. At the bottom here of the survey, we've got the submission message that you get to customize. Once again, we have a default submission message that we show, but the nice feature here, in addition to being able to edit that message, you can also choose whether or not to share the respondent profile with each respondent. And so we don't recommend doing this unless it's a very basic level report, essentially a copy of their responses and a picture of their ego network, just because things like the trust and value scores, mission alignment, some of these can be a little bit more sensitive information, and it's better to take some time to analyze it and look over that before just sort of sharing it out blindly. So if you do, however, set up your respondent profile to be sort of, just a basic report of their responses and their network map, you can check this button to share that, and they'll be shown this View Your Report button, when they finish their survey. And then you can also use logic if you want, so that, for example, if you only want, one category of network members to receive it, it'll only be shown to those people. So, for example, maybe some core partners, you feel comfortable with them seeing more information. Maybe you only show them profiles right off the bat. So that is a quick overview here of all of the survey edits. All of these changes and edits do save in real time, so you can make changes as you go, and there's no concern about losing your work if you navigate away. When you're all set with this, we always recommend just testing out the survey once or twice. And the best way to do this is to go back to your member library at the ecosystem level and add just a test member, pretty much yourself with your own email. Add that test member to your capture, and you can even do this up front when you're setting it up in the beginning. And then you can actually just grab your sample link right from the member page here within the survey. And so that's a real nice way just to walk through the survey, try submitting it yourself, and make sure that it looks good and works well. And you can always share that with a couple of different community partners, or make as many testing members as you need. And when you're all ready to send it out in sort of real life, you can just delete those members from the member library entirely, and all of their data, all their test replies and responses, all of that will get deleted. So that's a nice, easy way to test this out in practice. That ends the editing survey video tutorial. I hope you learned a lot. Thanks for joining us.